Welcome to today's deep dive. So when you log into your bank account, you probably just expect to see pure amoral math, right? Like spreadsheets, subtraction, red numbers, black numbers.
Right, just totally neutral data.
Yeah, exactly. But what if you looked at that exact same screen and saw an active, high-stakes spiritual battlefield? Because today, our mission is unpacking a really provocative document by Orrie Karim.
Who is also known online as #JustStory.
Yes, #JustStory. And this piece is titled Stewardship as Warfare. We're exploring this impartially, but it's a unique perspective that totally upends the modern assumption that money is just this inert, secular tool.
It really does. It completely reframes how you look at a single dollar. I mean, Orrie argues that how you spend or what you owe, well, they aren't simply financial transactions, they are actual spiritual decisions.
Wow.
Yeah, the entire premise hinges on Matthew 6.24, which states, "You cannot serve both God and money." So in this view, money isn't just paper, it actively demands your devotion.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because making the jump from, a boring monthly budget to full-on spiritual warfare seems pretty extreme.
It sounds intense at first, definitely.
Right. Like, we usually treat budgeting like a tedious diet plan. Or we just think of debt as a numbers game. You buy a car, you pay the interest. How exactly does a standard car loan turn into a spiritual attack?
Well, it comes down to the mechanics of control. Orrie's thesis is that an unseen enemy uses debt as a highly effective mechanism to hijack your focus.
Hijack your focus how?
Think about the psychological weight of owing someone thousands of dollars. Your loyalty immediately becomes divided. You are suddenly forced to make career and life choices based entirely on servicing that debt.
Right, rather than pursuing your actual values or calling.
Exactly.
It's essentially like being a vassal to an evil lord. You aren't working the land for your own harvest anymore. You're exhausted from paying tribute.
That is a perfect analogy, and that tribute keeps you constantly distracted. I mean, if you are stressed about making your minimum credit card payments, you simply don't have the mental or spiritual bandwidth to focus on higher purposes. Debt literally drains your sovereignty by keeping you on a hamster wheel of repayments.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
If debt is the trap, how do you fight back without becoming completely paranoid?
What do you mean?
Well, if I view every single transaction through this intense spiritual lens, I'd be terrified to buy a cup of coffee. Doesn't hyper-tracking every penny just lead to a miserable life of strict deprivation?
What's fascinating here is that Orrie explicitly pushes back against that idea. The framework presented isn't about punishing yourself, it's about claiming your sovereignty.
Okay, sovereignty, not suffering.
Right. And to do that, Orrie introduces a tactical system using the acronym STEWARD. The first 3 steps are see, track, and evaluate. And those basically act as your reconnaissance.
Like basic intelligence gathering.
Yeah, exactly. You see and track where the money flows so it isn't moving unexamined, and then you evaluate if those purchases actually align with your values.
Because you can't fight a battle if you don't know where your troops, or in this case, your dollars, are stationed. But how do we cross over from basic bookkeeping into actual warfare?
That happens in the back half of the acronym when you shift to offense. That's wield, allocate, resist, and defend. Take the R, for example, resist.
Which is more than just skipping a latte, I'm guessing.
Oh, much more. It's conscious recognition that agreeing to, say, 20% credit card interest is actively selling your future autonomy to a lender. You are choosing to resist that enslavement.
Oh, I see. So when you wield and allocate your money, you aren't just blindly spending it. You're deploying it as a precise tool to buy back your freedom.
Precisely. You are wielding it rather than letting it master you. And the final step, defend, requires you to treat your financial boundaries exactly like you would protect your physical safety.
Wait, really? Like self-defense?
Yeah. If someone tried to put you in handcuffs, you'd fight back, right? Orrie is saying you should react the exact same way when a predatory loan or an unnecessary subscription tries to chain up your future income.
So what does this all mean? Summarizing Orrie's thesis, an abundant life isn't defined by having the most stuff, but by owing the absolute least. True wealth is maximum freedom.
It really changes the entire landscape of personal finance. Every dollar you refuse to borrow is a tactical victory. Every unexamined expense is a loss of your personal sovereignty.
It definitely changes how I'll look at my banking app tomorrow morning.
For sure. And think about that the next time you're tempted to click buy now on something you don't really need. If every dollar you don't borrow is a victory and every unexamined expense is a loss of sovereignty, how might treating your very next impulse purchase as an act of resistance change the way you value your money tomorrow?